So when you were a freshman in college, coming from high school, did you have like a welcome to college football moment, like where you were like, dang, like this is like a whole different level, or was the transition pretty smooth for you?
Oh no, it was definitely rough. I was actually just talking with somebody about this yesterday. So like fall camp went well. Obviously, like as a freshman, you don't get as many reps. So our first game of the year, I'm on kick return, and it's the only like play time I'm getting is just on kick return. So like, I'm looking up in the stands and like, oh, this is nice. Like I made it. So I have my guy I'm supposed to be blocking and run back, turn around, hits me with the craziest juke move I've ever seen, and makes a tackle. So like at this point, I'm like, yeah, like that was my last play here. Probably need to start looking at different options in the portal. But yeah, it was definitely a rough transition just with like the speed of the game. But as long as you like kind of stick to it and you just put your head down and work, it ended up being really smooth for me at the end.
Right.
Welcome back to The Player's Perspective, a podcast hosted by Mackenzie Holmes and powered by Hoosiers Connect. As the official NIL collective of IU Athletics, Hoosiers Connect provides exclusive access to IU student athletes, offering fans an inside look at their lives both in and out of competition. Tune in weekly to hear stories and perspectives from the incredible athletes that make Hoosier Nation proud.
Aiden, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. You guys are in your off season right now, so what's that look like for you? What's a typical week look like for you right now in the off season?
Right now we're just going Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, and then a little bit of extra like stretching and stuff on Wednesdays and Saturdays. But it's really not bad. Most of it is just like conditioning and sprint work. A lot of just like building into it, and the spring ball coming up in a month. So everything's been really cool. All the new transfers are in, all the new freshmen. So everybody's been bonding pretty well. So it's been pretty good so far.
Is there any transfer or freshman that has surprised you so far in this preseason, or that you've gotten to know well, or just a little insight on the new people that are in so far?
Yeah, I think a lot of them are pretty cool. Everybody has a good personality, which is a good thing. Nobody's come in and kind of like been the odd guy out. Kind of felt like everybody's been here for a while. That's kind of true for like Lewis Moore, who's coming back from Ole Miss, and KB came back from Colorado. So a lot of the guys are coming back, and then in my group specifically, kind of like the freshmen and transfers. Devin is a transfer from NC State. Doesn't talk a lot, but he comes in and works really hard. So it's just been cool to get around different guys, like where different guys come from, and kind of see how their work ethic and what they think of things.
Now, with you being an upperclassman, how do you feel like you're influencing them, or how you're pouring into them on a daily basis? Is there anything specific you do, spending extra time with them, watching film? What's that look like for you?
Yeah. The older I got, like from sophomore, junior year, and then especially now, it's a lot about like passing down what I know to the young guys so that they're not struggling as much once we get going. A lot of film, a lot of like working out on the side, just stuff like that. And then a lot of it is like off the field. Mike Kadick was big for me. Like when I got here, we were always going out golfing, doing something, just getting the guys together, making sure everybody like feels comfortable off the field. So I'm kind of taking on that responsibility as well, which I think is going to be huge for us.
And being someone who started at JMU with Sig, transferred over, do you feel like you know what he expects from you as far as being a leader on the team and pouring into these other guys? Do you feel like that you have like a kind of like an unspoken connection with him on what's expected of you and the other upperclassmen and leaders of the team? Yeah,
it's been cool with Sig because like even like this is my fourth year with him. Like you can just see every single year like kind of like the same thing happen, and it's just kind of like a culture thing. Some guys just step up, end up in that leadership role, and then other guys just follow, and it's like every year it's like somebody new. So it's been really cool. It's funny like seeing myself step into it, and like that's my role now, but it's really cool. It's just kind of like a culture thing with him, and everybody steps up at some point.
Do you feel a lot older than the freshmen that are coming in? Like, do you look at them and you're like, wow, they're so young? Because I feel like when I was a fifth year, the freshman, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are like 17 and 18 years old. Like, and I felt like when I was a freshman coming in, I felt like the seniors and the super seniors were so much older, but like, and now to realize that those people are seeing me like that, and like knowing the impact that you have on them? Like, what does that look like for you or feel like for you?
Yeah, it's been funny. The young guys always have so much energy in the morning, and like they're playing like the craziest rap music to start the morning, and like you can see all like the older guys are just like sitting in their lockers, like, geez, dude, like, that's not us anymore. But no, it's been cool. A hard thing of it is when you're like kind of put in that role where it's like you're the older guy, like you kind of have to set this tone and standard every day. You can't really goof off as much, which in the past years, like I like to have fun when I work out, so like, that's kind of been me. But nothing to really complain about with it. It's been fun so far. It's just the biggest difference is the energy with the young guys in the morning. Yeah. We got to tell them kind of like tone it down, like listen to something soft in the morning, like get your mind right.
So explain yourself as a leader then. Do you feel like you're more of a lead by example, a vocal leader, or has it changed throughout your career? Because I feel like for me, I wasn't super vocal early on in my career, and then as my career went on, I definitely became more of a vocal leader, more of, like you said, that I used to be the one that wanted to like listen to music, have fun, and then I realized like what the team needs and like having to be that like stern, like I guess bad cop type of leader. So how would you explain yourself as a leader?
Kind of like you said, I think it changes like as you go. I would say I started like a lead by example. And I think kind of like as you get your confidence as a player, then like your voice really comes out. Coming here last year around this time, everybody was kind of confused on like what the scheme was, a lot of different things. So I felt like I had to step up and be a little more vocal. But I kind of think like I can do a little bit of both. The young guys need the vocal. The older guys are the example.
Right.
So I just think it's kind of like what your team needs at the moment. But a lot of these young guys definitely need the vocal. They come in and you leave a high school program like you're the man.
Right.
So they're kind of coming here now. They're completely reset. And they're a little bit shell shocked. So just kind of encouraging them. And then when they need it, kind of getting on them.
So when you were a freshman in college, coming from high school, did you have like a welcome to college football moment, like where you were like, dang, like this is like a whole different level, or was the transition pretty smooth for you?
Oh no, it was definitely rough. I was actually just talking with somebody about this yesterday. So like fall camp went well. Obviously, like as a freshman, you don't get as many reps. So our first game of the year, I'm on kick return, and it's the only like play time I'm getting is just on kick return. So like I'm looking up in the stands, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like I made it. So I have my guy I'm supposed to be blocking and run back, turn around, hits me with the craziest juke move I've ever seen, and makes a tackle. So like at this point, I'm like, yeah, like that was my last play here. Probably need to start looking at different options in the portal. But yeah, it was definitely a rough transition just with like the speed of the game. But as long as you like kind of stick to it and you just put your head down and work, it ended up being really smooth for me at the end.
Right. So I guess on the opposite end, when was the moment you realized that you were going to be all right? Like you were going to be able to compete, and not only compete, but play at a really high level, not only at James Madison, but at Indiana as well. Did you have a moment or a game where you realized that like things are going to be fine? Because I feel like for me, my freshman year, we played a D2 in an exhibition game, and I had 2 points, and it was like garbage time, and like I literally was like, I can't play at this level, you know what I mean? And then the very next game was our first game, and I ended up playing really well, so I was able to like take a deep breath. So did you have kind of a moment where things started to go right for you and you started to like feel some momentum?
Yeah, at JMU, I didn't play like defense a lot. It's like the last like 3 games. So I get thrown in against ODU. I guess one of our starters kind of got hurt, like hurt something, and then I was the first guy in. So I go in and second play I make a tackle, and like all the air just went out, and I was like, all right, like I'm good. I don't got to panic about this no more. But if I had to say like a turning point, it would definitely be that, and then like the spring after that, I think it just kind of like shot my confidence up, let me do what I can do.
And how do you feel like Sig or maybe the other coaches on staff made you stay the course as a player? So because I know sometimes it's hard when you're a freshman, you're not, that's why a lot of people transfer, they don't play, and it's hard to have buy-in. So what did that buy-in look like for you at James Madison and also here at Indiana?
Yeah, I mean the first thing you said is like the freshman transferring. I think that's like tough now, the transfer
Mm-hmm.
portal, because like nobody's really getting developed anymore.
Right.
It's like if you're not playing, you're like, all right, well then, you know,
Might
forget
as
this.
well
I'm gonna
leave,
yeah. But with Sig, it's funny because even after that game, there was an interview with him. You know, you had a young guy step up today. Like Aiden Fisher had a solid game, and if Sig's gonna do one thing to you, he's gonna keep you humble. So he's like, I'll never forget this. He was like, yeah, he's a good prospect for us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, coach, like I'm on the team.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a prospect anymore. But,
I'm not a recruit. Like
yeah, like it was crazy. But looking back at it, he definitely just kept me humble, and I didn't have to, you know, have to say anything to him or him to say anything to me. But being with him, like the process that he was in, it's always just like your head down and you're working all the time. So like what changed for me was like the spring of 2023. I just really put my head down and work. Like it was film sessions for 2 hours a day. I'm working out on weekends while everybody else is out. Like,
right.
I just want to make sure I was never on the bench again. Like that was such a rough time for me. And it was like a feeling that I never want to do again. So like I was doing everything that I could leading into that spring to kind of like earn a spot.
And there's like some beauty in trusting the process, but also like reaping the benefits of it. Because I feel like a lot of people do one but not the other. You know what I mean? So like to be able to hear you talk about trusting the process but also seeing the other side of it, because I feel like some people expect those results right away, but like you said, it took you the entire spring and probably the summer as well, if I had to guess, all the way through camp. So that's really great to hear. What do you feel like kept you motivated on those nights where all your friends were out and you decided to stay in? What were the motivating factors for you? I know you said you didn't want to be on the bench ever again, but was there anything else that kept you going?
Oh yeah, like I didn't want my sisters, my mom coming to games, and like I'm on kick return, and like I'm just, you know, like missing blocks and having my guy tackle people. So it was like, first, like I just didn't want the feeling of not playing, not being able to like help the team or whatever. But it was really like I didn't want my family being like, yeah, like we're all coming to the game. You know, they get there and like, which one's like your son? Like he's over there on the bench, and I'm like, hey mom, like waving on the field. So that was really big for me because it was like my mom and they were like 2 hours from JMU, so like they were at every single game. So I just wanted to make sure like if they're coming to games, like make it worth their while. Like I didn't want to be just some guy sitting on the bench and turn around waving and eating Skittles on the sideline.
So sounds like family is important to you.
Yeah, very.
Do you want to talk about your family, your sisters, your mom, what they mean to you?
Yeah. We actually have a little group chat, so we text in it every day. My little sister Addison is about to graduate high school this year.
She coming to Indiana?
No, she's going to Coastal Carolina.
Oh, okay. A little bit warmer. I don't blame her.
Yeah, she wants to stay near the sun.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
She's like, if I had to compare myself to someone, like that's like just mini me in a girl version.
Really?
Like she's so funny. I claim I'm the funniest in the family, but like she gives me a run for my money. Like if I get bored, I'll just go through me and her TikToks, and like I'll just laugh for a couple minutes. And then my older sister is like, she's more serious into things. She's really into like makeup and all that stuff. So she's working at Sephora down in Charleston, about to graduate college at the College Charleston. So big year for those two. And then my mom's back at home. She's a real estate agent, so she's always busy. I actually got a puppy this summer. So my mom took him for the season. So now he's pretty well trained, very babied. He's very cuddly and just always has to be next to somebody's hip. But
what type of dog?
He's an English cream golden retriever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Ace.
Ace. Maybe we can put a picture of Ace right here.
Here he is.
Here he is. Here's Ace. You have him in Bloomington now?
I do.
So what's that like being a new father?
It's been pretty cool. It definitely has its moments.
Yeah.
Like he is just always going, like just wants to play all the time. And you know, I'm a Commanders fan, so we're watching the Commanders-Eagles game, and this dog just wants to play the whole time. We're down by 50, so I'm like, Ace, like you gotta go lay down, dude. Like I'm getting so frustrated. But other than that, like it's been really good. I was actually talking to my family yesterday about it. Like having him up here, I feel like kind of slows life down a little bit because like now I'm like taking nature walks, like doing stuff I never did without a dog. So it's been really cool. Just being able to like kind of experience new things and things that kind of slow my life down, like outside of football.
And I feel like it also gives you a break from maybe being in the facility all the time too, because you have to go home, take him out, take care of him, walk him. Do you have any spots in Bloomington you like to bring him?
I've been at Switch Yard a lot. That's been fun to walk.
Do you bring him in the big dog park or the little dog park?
He goes in the big dog park now. Yeah, he's leveling up in the world.
That's awesome. So circling back to your family, I've read that that's why you wear number 4. Has it always been like that?
No, so I was actually I've already had a number change here too. So like high school, I was like kind of all over the place, and I just wanted like a number for myself. So my dad wore 10 like his whole career, like high school and stuff. And love my dad, but like I was like I kind of want a number for myself, so I just went up and went to 11, and I had that for high school. Got 32 as a freshman at JMU. So
was it just what was given to you?
Walked in my locker, saw 32, and I was like, all right, like whatever. But I remember switching my number to 11 at JMU. A conversation with Sig. I'm a freshman, like I'm going in there like shaking. I'm like, Coach Sig, like, do you mind? Is it okay if maybe like I, get 11? So he's like, I'll think about it. And I'm like, oh, all right. Like, we'll see with that.
Nothing comes easy with him from what it seems like.
No, they're always stressful conversations, but the older you get, like the respect you gain and like, stuff like that, like he's really a cool guy. But so then I came here. Antoine Randall has 11 retired. So I picked number 10 again for my dad. Go through the spring with it. And then after the spring ball, I'm just kind of want a number for myself. Like I feel like I've always been number 10 growing up. So it was either like 4 or 8 or something like that. So it was pretty easy. It was just like, it's always been me, my mom, my 2 sisters. So went with 4, and it was the easiest way.
Nice. So looking ahead to this upcoming season, what are you expecting from the team to take what you guys did last year and bring it to another level, which is hard to top, but I'm sure you guys all have those expectations really high. So what's that look like for you guys?
I mean, we're really excited about it. I know the Notre Dame game left like a lot of like sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. I tried to watch it and I can't even watch it yet. So that and the Ohio State game. So I know we're all really eager just to get back out and, play some games. But I'd say the biggest thing for us is when we get in those big games and those big situations, like we want to take advantage of them. We don't want to leave the field with what ifs and how comes and like all that. So my biggest thing is just making sure when we get to those big games, like we're just as prepared as possible. And then I think like a confidence thing. I feel like last year we were extremely confident going into a lot of games, and then like something went wrong, and maybe like we were like, oh man, like maybe this isn't the outcome we wanted. So I feel like this year, like even with Fernando, like you can see like he has a little bit of swagger to him. So a lot of the guys have like an edge to them, but I really just want us to have like a good swagger to us. To like we're the possibility of losing is like never on the table.
Right.
So just looking forward to getting back to the playoffs and really making it a deep run this year.
I feel like you guys have had a good balance of like swagger but also grit.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's just the personalities on the team, or is that something that you feel like Sig has instilled, or maybe it's a combination of both?
Yeah, I'd say it's a combination of both. I feel like everybody on this team has like something that's like a knock on them.
Right, like it's a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, like a lot of the, I mean, there's not a lot of JMU guys here anymore, but like those guys were always, you're supposed to be a group of 5 player, you're supposed to be a FCS player. Then you come here and you kind of prove things wrong. And then it's like, okay, well, now can you do it for another year? So it's like there's always something. And then Sig, he always has that edge. Like something is always wrong with him. Like he's going to find something that you said. It doesn't matter if it was last week or last year, like something you said about Indiana, and we're going to use that going forward.
Right.
So I just think everybody has like a big chip on their shoulder at all times. And I think that's why like weight room, on the field, practice games, like everybody just plays so hard and it's like such a grit to them. It's been pretty cool.
So would you say you feel like everything is like a competition, like no matter what you're doing? And is that something that, is that the precedent that you guys set, or is that do you feel like Sig is like the most competitive, so it just kind of has like this trickle effect for the rest of the program?
Yeah, I think it really just trickles down. Like we don't really see him a lot in the off season, but like I think he sets the tone when we do see him, and like even like on the field, like doing just shuttles. Like we're always racing with each other. Like we're having coaches call out names. Like we're sitting there arguing with each other. Like it's always something. So I think that's really like just how you get better. Even like if you're racing, you're chasing somebody. Like I think that's how you do it.
Now, do you have a favorite story like that, like off-season story where maybe things got a little competitive, whether it was in practice or weight room shuttles, whatever it might be?
Honestly, it's every day.
It's
like
every
if
day.
somebody is saying something every day. Jay Walk, who's training for the draft right now, me and him used to go at it, just like racing. Isaiah Jones is starting to get into it, so it's cool seeing like other people join in like slowly,
Right.
and it's just like trickles down to like now it's going to the young guys. So like
Right.
it's been really cool, but I mean it's something every day. Like you're arguing, did you touch the cone? Did you miss the line? Like it's always something.
And I feel like having that in practice not only makes it fun, but probably go by faster, even
Yeah.
in the season when you have long practices, long film sessions, if you are always engaged and competing, I just feel like it makes it so much more enjoyable
Yeah.
and fun. Like I feel like a lot of people, when they come to college, they lose the fun aspect of the game and it's too serious. So it sounds like you guys are finding a good balance between both of those things, which is awesome.
Yeah, like the freshmen helped that too. Like their energy
Right.
and they're talking so much crap, but it's like you kind of enjoy it.
Right. To kind of wrap things up, do you have a favorite moment of this season? I know this is your first year in Bloomington. I'm biased, but I always say that Indiana fans are the best in the country. I think you saw that this year with the crowds that you have. Is there a moment that stood out the most to you where you're like, wow, this is a pretty cool place to play?
Yeah, the Nebraska game. So you're on the road, you beat UCLA, you come back, Charlotte, you play Maryland, you beat those teams, and then like now you got a top 25 matchup. So like we hadn't sold out before that, so we go back for Nebraska, and so like when you're coming out to the stadium, you walk past like a glass hallway. So like everybody takes a little peek, like what's the crowd
see what
looking
the
like?
crowd looks like.
And it's the away side, so it's sometimes it's not like how it was like the past 5 games.
Right.
You're like, oh man, like here we go
Right.
again. There was not a single space open.
Wow.
And there's like white flags everywhere.
Yeah, the
like,
towels.
Oh yeah, the towels, like just going crazy. So like I'm already like hyped up walking into the tunnel. So like as we're coming out, like you can't see any spot in the stands. Like it was unbelievable. And then obviously like the way that game went, we had Gus Johnson calling it, and then that's where like Sean Asbury had that like famous call now. So that was definitely the moment where we were like we're on the scene. Like
Right.
it was really cool,
Right.
and everybody kind of realized like we're here to play.
Right. And as someone who has been going to games since I was a freshman in college, which is a long time ago, I just remember like being able to literally sit wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
And like just to be able to see the growth of the fans, it was like honestly incredible being able to
Yeah.
be at that game and sit and see just the growth that the program has made and is going to continue to make. And I know that you're a big
Yeah.
piece in that. But it was great chatting with you today. Thank
You
you
too.
for coming on, and good luck this next season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a wrap.
We hope you loved this episode of Players Perspective. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Stay connected with Hoosiers Connect on social media for even more exciting content featuring IU student athletes. Until next time, Hoosier Nation.